Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk is now buying Twitter at the original price. So CNBC, Twitter shares surged 22% after Elon Musk's revival deal to buy company at original price. CNET, Elon Musk offers to end legal fight over $44 billion Twitter deal. They are suing Elon Musk to make him buy the company. And now he's going to buy the company, but he's let the world know that about 5% or more of all the accounts are completely fake, phony, just fabricated. Probably more than that. And initially, they did not want him to buy the company. So initially, Twitter employees, all the brass at Twitter said, no, you can't buy the company, we're going to fight it. Then what he did was somewhat intelligent, brilliant. Who knows how it's going to turn out? I think it's going to turn out it's going to turn out good for Elon Musk. What he did was he got them, after initially fighting him over the deal, he got them to then now beg him. This is like a dysfunctional dating relationship. He pursued Twitter, said that he wanted to buy Twitter. They initially said, no, we don't want you to buy the company. Then he negotiated a $44 billion deal. Then they accepted. Then he said, wait a second. You don't have, all the things that you promised to the SEC, to investors, that they're not true. You're also not making as much money as you claim to have made. Then they said, Then they took him to court and said, you better purchase this company for the $44 billion. Forget about the fact that we tried to prevent you from purchasing and acquiring the company. You better, acquire this company. Now he's saying, okay, I will. But the genius move, or the interesting move, is that when he does purchase, finally, Twitter, he will have not only full control because he owns the company, but all his detractors will be on record as begging him to purchase Twitter. So he'll have that much more power in terms of the internal dynamics. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Very interesting. Elon Musk offers to end legal fight over $44 billion Twitter deal. Musk has been trying to back out of the buying Twitter for $44 billion, but he keeps changing his mind. CNET. Twitter's legal battle with billionaire Elon Musk could come to an end very soon. On Monday, Musk's lawyers sent a letter to Twitter that stated Musk intends to move forward with purchasing the company for the original offer price of $54.20 per share. Twitter sued Musk, who leads Tesla and SpaceX, because the billionaire said in July that he no longer wanted to buy Twitter and take the company private. By the way, hit subscribe to this channel. We're seeing a 2008 moment. The 1,500 points up is going to unfortunately go collapsing to well below 30,000 into a bear market. We're experiencing a 2008 moment, ladies and gentlemen. Credit Suisse, pension funds in the UK, Deutsche Bank is going through huge problems with derivatives also. You're seeing everything unfold, but Wall Street is counterintuitive, but as I predicted in 2021, in September, we're in the first inning of this. It's going to tank a lot more, unfortunately. Layoffs, inflation will go up. It's going to be worse than a 1970s-style economic downturn. We know exactly who's at fault. The same people who worship Twitter. The same people who have all their wonderful, their profile pic on Twitter is like who they are as a human being. But hit subscribe. Watch the short on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. President Obama, in his own words, clears Donald Trump of any criminal activity. Not my words. President Obama. Watch that short. It's my latest short. It's below in the description section. To my new Patreons, thank you. If you want to support my work long term, my Patreon is below. And I'll have a live stream tonight at around 6:37 p.m. Pacific time. But ladies and gentlemen, Twitter has sued Musk, who leads Tesla and SpaceX, because the billionaire said in July that he no longer wanted to buy Twitter and take the company private. The moves comes ahead of a 5-day trial that's scheduled to take place in the Delaware court on October 17th, potentially capping off a tumultuous... So he's buying Twitter. They want him to buy Twitter for that price. I mean, they can't ask for more now because they already negotiated. They're actually suing him so that he purchases the company at that price. The interesting thing is, this is, ladies and gentlemen, the epicenter. Twitter is the epicenter of dysfunctional, dystopian, warped, twisted democratic politics, where the stupidest opinions get retweeted a million times. You could just look at AOC's Twitter profile. The most vapid attempts at judgment and condemnation and preaching and, these absurd sermons on morality. Democrats use Twitter as a platform to say, hey, don't look at our corruption. Don't look at all the immoral, unethical, corrupt, criminal things we're doing. Look at Trump. Look at this quote he said. Look at this thing he did. We're experiencing higher poverty now. But Twitter can be used by AOC and Elizabeth Warren and Bernard Sanders. And I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. I support Trump because we had record low in poverty. A record low in poverty in 2019 at 10.5%. That's according to CNN and all the data. A record low in poverty. What is the allure, the prestige, the image you want to portray if you're a socialist, if you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal? What's that wonderful, you want to feel morally superior. You care about poor people. That's the main thing. You want social safety nets protecting people from entering poverty. Poverty has increased under mashed potato brains Joe to close to 15%. Okay, that's one estimate. It's probably higher than that because we have inflation at 8 to 9%. When you go to the supermarket, is it only 7%, 8% more? No. Is it like 20 to 30% more expensive? Do you find yourself at the supermarket with maybe 3 or 4 bags costing $150 or $200? Okay, or 5 bags or whatever? That wasn't the case under Trump in 2019. Poverty has increased. Democrats need Twitter. It is their church, their place of worship, their dystopian, nightmarish Tron, the movie Tron in the 80s. I live in the 80s and 90s, by the way, but the dystopian nightmare where you're stuck in a video game. And Democrats, what they do is when they log on to Twitter, they want to portray to the world how morally superior they are by saying how much they despise Trump and willfully ignoring the poverty, the terrible economy, the invasion in Europe. I mean, how they've twisted the geopolitical nightmare into, well, thank God Democrats are in charge. Like, what? This didn't happen under Trump. What are you talking about? Anything bad that happens under their watch, which is like a whole list of things from crime, homelessness, like soaring, all of these problems that have increased in severity, they find some way to twist into, oh, well, thank goodness Trump isn't in office. Like, what are you talking about? All of these problems are taking place under your watch. Without everyone from Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert to loyalists within the U.S. government to almost all of political media, from the Washington Post, New York Times, Atlantic, all of them, saying the same thing all at once, Democrats would have no chance in Congress. As it is, they're going to get in the House obliterated. The Senate, I don't know how they could keep the Senate with a 2008 moment. But only in this America, this era of American politics where you have all of media pushing the Democratic Party. You didn't have that. If you had a media like in 2012, they would run like interesting, lighthearted pieces on Paul Ryan working out. It wasn't, Paul Ryan, send him to The Hague. Oh my God, he's a menace to democracy. With all of media, late night wasn't focusing on Romney. In 2012. It's completely different. So when Democrats say, God, Trump, he's so bad for the Republican Party. This is a template, ladies and gentlemen, that they utilize, and it starts with Twitter. When Elon Musk purchased Twitter, he did so because he knew that his adversaries or enemies would utilize that platform against him. That's why he purchased Twitter. He knows Twitter is like a piece of garbage. Twitter exists primarily to prop up left-leaning American politics. That's it. Nobody really goes on Twitter to talk about sports. I mean, there's some pretty awesome accounts on sports or whatever, fashion, but not like, there are other venues in terms of social media. Twitter is not as popular or as relevant as the company says it is. In terms of American politics, it still has too much influence. And it's a megaphone, it's an echo chamber for stupid ideas. Like, a good idea is Medicare for all, but it's not feasible. It's a noble idea, but it's not feasible. YouTubers and political parties in the left, Democratic Party, gained so much money in donations and fundraising from the belief that one day they would enact Medicare for all. They won't even vote on it. That's why they were upset with Jimmy Dore, because he had the integrity to say, hey, vote on it in the House of Representatives. You have the House. They wouldn't even vote on it. They would rather pontificate about how important it is on Twitter. So it's a sleight of hand. Democratic voters have a need to be deceived by their political party. Trump gave his voters everything he could. Record low in poverty, record highs in household median income without $10 trillion pumped into the economy, inflation at 2%. I mean, they have these dumb articles. Oh yeah, he abandoned the working class. The working class did better under Trump. That's before his last year in office, when Democrats commandeered his presidency, said you have to shut down everything. And now we're experiencing the repercussions of that. Whenever media, Twitter, Democratic Party, Hollywood yell about something, that you must do something, it is basically running sprinting towards the edge of a cliff. And eventually, unfortunately, flying off. They were wrong about everything the past 6 years, from Trump being a Kremlin operative, wrong, fake, phony, to Trump now being a menace to democracy, wrong. He doesn't care he's not going to suspend. He doesn't want to silence debate. It's Democrats who want to silence any discussion, because it's either offensive or a threat to democracy, which actually needs a flourishing discourse, debate, discussion environment where you are able to voice your opinion and you can appreciate the First Amendment. Democrats don't want that. They want the First and Second Amendments completely erased, and the Fourth Amendment for Trump, throw that out the window. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Elon Musk is taking Twitter away from the morally superior liberal Democrats. There's a reason that people were like, I'm getting off of Twitter now. This stinks. It's like, well, yeah, you don't. You're not going to be able to silence and suppress and ban and suspend the New York Post anymore if there's a story about Hunter right before people are choosing between Joe and Donald. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. Watch the short on this channel. Awesome short, my latest one. Be here tonight for the live stream around 6:30, 7:30 p.m. Pacific.